They say home is where the heart is. But what if your heart has commitment issues? What if it keeps packing and unpacking? What if it keeps chasing new cities like flings, falling fast, unpacking slow, and leaving just before things get too serious? I used to think that I was looking for a place, a city, a neighborhood, a postcode that would finally get me the way that a soulmate does. Somewhere that matched my taste in coffee, culture, and climate. Somewhere that I could exhale and say, this is it. I told myself that I will know when I found it, that a sense of belonging will wash over me like deja vu. Like when you're walking into a room where everything already smells like you. But the truth is, that never happened. Instead, I found places that fit almost. Almost right, almost home, almost me. But as I changed my dreams, my pace, my version of joy, those places started to feel like jeans that I have outgrown. They were still beautiful and they were still meaningful, just they were no longer mine. Every time I thought I found the one, something shifted. And that something was me. We don't talk enough about outgrowing places. We assume that if it fits once, it should always fit. But what happens when you evolve and the place stays the same? I've lived in many homes in the past few years, and each one of them felt like a match until I changed the criteria. And when I did, the vibe changed, and that feeling that it was a match faded. It's like a partner that was right for the version of you then, but not for the version of the woman that you're becoming now. We don't talk about this part. We don't talk that growth has a side effect, displacement. That sometimes when you become more of yourself, you fit less into the places that once held you. So I moved again and again and again, and I called this freedom. And it was. But eventually, even freedom starts to feel like another kind of cage. The kind where you never stop searching and you never stop running. That's when I realized that I wasn't chasing a place, I was chasing a feeling. The feeling of stability, peace, familiarity. The kind of feeling where you stop looking over your shoulder and you stop asking what's next and you start feeling safe in the now. I realized that home isn't a location, it's an energy. It's the smell of your favorite candle, the way your books lean on a shelf. Home is your habits, home is your rituals. Home is where your mugs go, where your hangers hang. It's not where the sun sets the prettiest, but where you let yourself slow down long enough to watch it. Home is where your toothpaste lives, where you put your hair up without thinking, where you have a favorite spot on the couch. Home is where you don't have to perform, where you can be silent and you can still be understood. It's your routines, it's your playlists, it's the sound that your mocha pot makes in the morning, that one mug, that smell of clean sheets, that pair of socks that you always reach for, that version of you that only exists in private. That's home. I've moved countries and changed homes multiple times in the past years, more than I would like to admit. Many new cities, many fresh starts, many moments where I truly believed that this time, this is the one. And every time I made it home, with my energy, with my rituals, with my touches. But still, I found myself hesitating to commit, leaving a few boxes unpacked, telling myself that it was just temporary, just for now. And I didn't realize it then, but I was protecting myself from disappointment. Because calling a place home means investing. And investing means risking heartbreak. What if I stay and it doesn't feel the way I want it to? What if it starts to feel like settling instead of belonging? But here's the truth that I kept circling back to. Maybe the problem wasn't the places. Maybe it was that I never let myself fully stay. Because staying requires something scarier than movement. It requires stillness. It requires commitment. And commitment doesn't come from certainty. It comes from choice. We never really commit to a place until we commit to staying. Not forever, but fully. I've realized that calling a place home is an act of faith. You choose it, you invest in it, you give it a chance to show you how soft it can feel. But only after you stop keeping your suitcases half zipped. I used to think that I was waiting to find the right place. Now I know that I was waiting for the right readiness. The readiness to choose, to root, and to stay. I couldn't help but wonder, is home something we find or something we decide? And is it really that different from choosing a partner? Is calling a place home really that different from calling someone the one? Do we fall in love with people the way we fall in love with cities? Romanticizing the potential, the aesthetic, the feeling they give us on a good day. And when the novelty wears off, do we start looking again? Maybe it's not about finding the perfect fit. Maybe it's about choosing one and making it fit. It's like breaking a pair of leather shoes. It molds to you, but not without some friction. Some people date cities the same way they date partners. They test, they try, they collect experiences like boarding passes, convincing themselves that the one is still out there. Others choose early. They settle down, they make it work. And maybe they're not settling, maybe they're building. When you meet someone new, they excite you. You imagine all the possibilities, but over time, the shiny fades and the quirks start to show. And you start wondering, is this still the one, or was it only meant for a season? It's the same thing with cities. We romanticize them at first, the cafes, the parks, the aesthetic, the strangers. We fall for their charm, but do we stay for their truth? Or do we leave when things get too real, too boring, too daily life? And just like relationships, the more cities you date, the more you start to believe that maybe the one doesn't exist. Maybe there's just a series of almosts. But what if it's not about finding the perfect fit? What if it's about creating the fit through presence and through patience? Because the more I move, the more I realize that no city is going to magically hold all my needs. And no place is going to complete me. That's not its job. Home isn't the solution to your identity crisis. It's just the backdrop to your becoming. So maybe the real question isn't where do I belong, but am I ready to belong anywhere at all? Because if you go into a place already planning your exit, you will never fully arrive. And I've done that. I've entered places with one foot out the door, treating them like transitions instead of destinations. And every time, I robbed myself of the magic that only comes when you stay long enough to witness it. To watch a city go from unfamiliar to second nature, to find your favorite grocery store, to make memories in corners that used to feel cold, to let the energy of a place settle in your bones until it feels like part of your story. And that doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen without intention. So now, when I land somewhere new, I ask myself, am I here to escape or am I here to root? Because the answer changes everything. And slowly, I began to redefine what home means to me. It's not a forever place, it's not a picture-perfect backdrop, it's not even about the country or the city or the street. It's about how I show up. It's about choosing a place, not because it's perfect, but because I'm willing to be present in it. It's about the decision to unpack, not just your suitcase, but your mind, your heart, your life. Because once you do, you will realize that home is never something that you find. It's something that you build with your things, with your time, with your stillness, with your energy. And if that's the case, then maybe home isn't where the heart is. Maybe home is where the heart finally stops running.